expressing frustration that the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, apparently does not want to enforce federal immigration laws, something that he himself posted. And then Frey reposted the president's comment, and he said the job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce Fed immigration laws. I want them preventing homicide.
Caitlin Huey-Burns reports some lawmakers are threatening to hold up government funding and, in particular, Department of Homeland Security funding.
Both sides are talking. There are bipartisan groups talking about this measure. But where it stands right now, Democrats are saying that they will not support this funding package unless it includes serious reforms to DHS.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is on Capitol Hill at this hour testifying before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee about Venezuela. Michael Wallace has that.
Rubio said President Trump tried repeatedly to get President Nicolas Maduro to step down before okaying his capture earlier this month.
You couldn't make a deal with this guy.
Rubio says it will take time to stabilize Venezuela and get its oil infrastructure up to speed.
That's the end state that we want. Free, fair, prosperous, and friendly Venezuela. We're not going to get there in 3 weeks. It's going to take some time.
Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons said the administration should have consulted with Congress before going into Venezuela. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Rubio also said Iran is at its weakest point ever. Vicky Barker reports on the new head of the Church of England.
Archbishop Sarah, we welcome you.
We welcome you.
For the first time, a woman confirmed as Archbishop of Canterbury. Sarah Mullally, a cancer nurse turned cleric, becoming the spiritual head of the worldwide Anglican Communion, which includes the Episcopalian Church in America. Taking on the role and the responsibilities a mere 32 years after the Church of England ordained its first women priests.
New research finds obesity rates among U.S. adults have doubled since 1990, and if they continue on this track, University of Washington cardiology professor Gregory Roth warns
almost half of the U.S. population will be living with obesity by the year 2035 if we forecast our data into the future. 47% of the entire U.S. population suffering from the health effects of obesity.
On Wall Street at this hour, ahead of the Fed's decision on interest rate, stocks are mostly flat. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A first look at a new income tax proposal in Washington. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But first, we're going to look at your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are doing pretty average for this time of day. We're 30 minutes Federal Way to Seattle on I-5. We are from Linwood to Seattle. It's 24 minutes. And that accounts for some slowing starting from the south or northbound direction from King County International Airport, Boeing Field. And then the slowing in the southbound direction, again, stacked up all the way to Shoreline. And we've got the typical backups a little bit onto I-90 westbound and 520 westbound. Again, 99 has some slowing off and on, even 509, the West Seattle Bridge. 405 is, got some delays in the S-curves. Not too bad, just a few minutes. But that it looks like we have a new crash on 167 northbound about a mile before the merge with 405. So that's causing some further delays on that route as well. Renton to Bellevue is 21 minutes at this point, so not too bad. Bothell to Bellevue is 21 minutes. And this report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows and $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. KIRO News Radio has reviewed what appears to be a working draft of the income tax on high earners being developed in Olympia, offering the first detailed look at legislation that has been crafted largely out of public view. Here's KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger.
The bill would essentially overturn Initiative 2111, the income tax ban voters approved in 2024. Remember, Washington voters have rejected income taxes 11 times since 1932. But Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson has called that ban a pie-crust promise, easily made, easily broken. The draft also shows a 9.9% tax on income above $1 million starting in 2029.
Harger reports that both House and Senate Democrats confirm the authenticity of the draft. The governor's office says it's not theirs, but they did not elaborate or dispute any of its specific provisions. You can read more about it at mynorthwest.com. Seattle-based travel company Expedia Group also cutting jobs on the heels of Amazon's news that they're confirming 16,000 roles being cut today. Both impacts could have a serious impact on Washington's economy. The city of Issaquah going all in on Seahawks trip to the Super Bowl. Mayor Mark Mullet just signed a proclamation renaming the city.
Issaquah is now 12 Issaquah. As a 20-year Seattle Seahawks season ticket holder, this is a special moment for me.
Yes, Issaquah is 12 Sequoia from now through the big game. Mayor Mark Mullet says the city has more Super Bowl-inspired surprises coming. Now, let's get a quick check on your weather. And we are going to stay showery today with periods of cloud breaks. High of 46. Rain tomorrow as well. High of 42. High 51 today and a high 52 tomorrow. It's 46 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you're here with us today. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Ursula, good morning.
Good morning.
Got a question for you.
Okay.
I was hanging out with Seattle's Morning News, and they asked me about where I was 40 years ago. Sophia, I know you weren't born yet. But anyway, they asked where I was 40 years ago, January 28th, 1986. Where were you when the Space Challenger was up in the air and that tragic day?
I was at the University of Oregon and living on my own, even though my parents still lived in Eugene at the time. I was living on my own, and I remember watching that. And I actually had an astronomy class. It was one of those big 300-person classrooms at the University of Oregon. And we walked in. Our professor was late.
Yeah.
Completely disheveled, distraught. And he said, after what happened today, classes are canceled.
Wow.
In hindsight, I wish he would have actually used that moment to help, and we could have all tried to process it together. I mean, we were in an astronomy class.
Yeah.
Where were you?
4th grade. Mrs. Lucas rolled in the TV. You know, back in those days, they used to roll in the TV on the cart, and we were watching. And when the explosion happened, I didn't process that. Yeah. It was bad. I thought maybe that was a part of it, but I didn't realize it until the way Mrs. Lucas responded, the teacher, and she had this, and then she came and turned the television off, and then we found out it was bad. But like I said to them this morning,
40 years.
We wonder why a lot of us need therapy, because we just went on about the day like it was nothing. You know what I mean? But local angle, Dick Scobie, who is from Cle Elum, went to Auburn High School. He was a pilot and engineer and astronaut. He was on the Challenger. So a little local connection. Want to show love to that. All right, what are we doing today, Ursula?
Well, 4-day work week, same pay. What could possibly go wrong? Lawmakers in Olympia are flirting with a 32-hour work week for the whole state. And while it sounds really cool, not everyone's buying it. So how do you feel? Text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We will tackle that topic coming up after our 9:30 newscast.
Let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
And Amazon has just made it official. Another 16,000 corporate jobs are gone, finishing a plan that has cut about 30,000 roles just since October. Reuters is reporting this is the biggest round of layoffs in Amazon's history, hitting nearly 10% of its corporate workforce. Jeff Schulman is a professor at the UW's Foster School of Business, and he tells KIRO 7 TV 2026 is going to be a rough year locally.
This is kind of the scariest time economically for the Seattle region since the Great Recession in 2009.
CEO Andy Jassy has been pretty blunt about why they're making these layoffs. There are too many layers right now. He says too much bureaucracy, and some big bets that the company made have not paid off this week alone. Just yesterday, we were talking about Amazon closing its remaining Fresh and Go stores and scrapping the whole Palm Scan payment system. And these are all just signs of a company that is hitting the reset button. GeekWire co-founder Todd Bishop expects the Seattle area to take the brunt of these positions that are being cut. And he says we're all going to feel the impact.
We've run stories and talked with people who have waited and searched for months and months, and in some cases years. And it's just a very difficult market right now. I mean, these have an impact, and they impact the tax base. They impact, businesses and spending capacity.
I'm extremely nervous. I think that we all know and come to understand the impact in what tech really provides for our community here as a whole. You have Microsoft and Amazon, and we just found out the news about Expedia. They just had some layoffs just recently, elimination of positions. We remember years ago in the 70s how it was Warehouse and Boeing that kind of held up a lot of the big economy here, and now this. Ursula, when you start hearing about all of these layoffs, it is going to have an impact on businesses. It is going to have it. So if right now, if you have your job, you might be fine. But locally, it will have an impact. When you have a bunch of people who are concerned or in jeopardy of making money, well, guess what? They tighten their wallets a little bit and they don't get out there and spend. And I think that, and by the way, if you're listening, what is your takeaway from this? How do you feel? Some might maybe feel encouraged because your stock portfolio is going up. But my biggest takeaway from this, Ursula, would be this. If you have a job right now, currently, doesn't matter what field you're in, if you have a job, this is not the time to coast.
You need to overperform.
This is the time to sharpen your skills. Now, if you're someone that's like, hey, G, I only got about 2-3 more years, okay, that's different. That's different. But if you're saying, hey, I got 10 plus or I have 15, 20 years to be out here working, if you have a job now, Ursula, you got to sharpen your skills in preparation of either A, staying where you are and maintaining, or B, if you get them walking papers, to go somewhere else.
Just always think of how can you be a value-added employee right now if you're not in the boss's seat. So,
what you got for us?
What can you, well, I went back, so I was trying to think because of that soundbite from KIRO 7 TV with the professor who said, we're basically going to feel this is like the worst since the Great Recession. So I was trying to remember, like, okay, what happened during the Great Recession? Well, Seattle lost tens of thousands of jobs, and we were actually considered more stable than other cities. Still, it did affect small businesses. It affected restaurants. It affected, for example, with Boeing, it affects suppliers. So, you always talk about that multiplier effect. Downtown and South Lake Union emptied out. That's a little hyperbolic, but already we have so much office vacancy. It's not going to help, right? No. And in those Amazon jobs or positions are high-paying jobs. So, yeah, you bet we're going to be feeling it. People are just going to be feeling it in the housing core, retail, childcare, all of it. So the first thing I did, though, this morning was reach out to my niece, whose husband works for Amazon. I mean, I worry every time they talk about these big, fat layoffs. It's like sooner or later it's going to be, affect someone you know and love. So, I mean, my heart goes out to everybody who is in that position of just always feeling like it could be me this time.
Yeah.
Well, state lawmakers are moving closer to putting new limits on where federal immigration agents can operate, especially in places like schools, hospitals, and child care centers. Of course, this bill comes after fear rippled through Washington classrooms, including last week when several Seattle public school campuses went into lockdown after there were unconfirmed reports of ICE activity nearby. Again, there was no proof that agents were actually there, but lawmakers say the panic itself is the problem. And that kind of concern spilled into the streets yesterday. You shared a video where there were dozens of students at Kentwood High School who walked out of class protesting what they see as ICE targeting schools in Minneapolis and creating fear for students and families. Now, under this proposal, Immigration and Customs Enforcement would need a signed warrant from a federal judge to enter non-public spaces like classrooms, daycares, and hospitals. So ICE could still operate in public areas, but supporters say this would draw a clearer constitutional line. But Republicans are arguing that this bill is just driven by fear and distraction. They say reports of ICE near schools are false. And again, the supporters say schools should never feel unsafe, even by rumor alone. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I find it interesting when they talked about and they ran on with their campaign of mass deportation. And a lot of people in support of ICE and loving what ICE was going to do, they're going to go into these communities and they're going to go and get the bad people, they said, right? They said, we're going to make this country safe, so we're going to need ICE to go out and their words, they called them illegals. We all already know why they do that. But here's what I find interesting in ICE. If they're going to look for the bad people, the people that are committing the crimes, then why does ICE always show up to the courthouses where people are trying to, if you will, some trying to do it the right way? Why do they show up to schools? Why do they show up to workplaces? I'm just confused with why ICE tends to show up in these places where you would think that criminal activity isn't happening at the job. Criminal activity isn't happening around the school. And now finally, Ursula, we're now finally hearing maybe we need to de-escalate the tactics.
We will talk about that in the 10 o'clock hour and do a deeper dive there. But I will say that I do support this legislation also because we are living in unprecedented times. Immigration enforcement has always been part of federal authority, but what's happening right now, I mean, they do have a legitimate role to play, but what we're seeing right now in Minnesota and other targeted cities goes well beyond traditional law enforcement. And so this bill wouldn't block ICE from doing its job. It would just make the policies and the lines much more clearer, and so that there isn't this kind of fear. And again, the fact that students are reacting this way and feeling fearful about going to a class, I mean, the last thing we need, what was that school that we were talking about where the school population has dropped dramatically? Was it Kent?
No, it was Kent.
Kent.
Their truancy rate has gone up. Some people are not going to school.
Yeah,
and
out of fear.
They had a 56% attendance rate. And before you move on, why do you think that Donald Trump is now talking about maybe de-escalating these tactics only because someone innocent was killed? Do you think that's the only reason? And I guess
no. No.
All right, what do you think?
The reason I think is happening is because even Republicans are turning on what is happening, because they're seeing for their own eyes and actually using critical thinking skills to look and see and how what happened on Saturday morning was spun one way immediately by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and that Bovino guy who has now been moved out, and Stephen Miller. So we're going to get into all that because now there's pressure. There is actually pressure, and the polls are showing that Americans on both sides are not down with what is happening. And I think that's why the tone has changed dramatically.
I wonder how come we haven't heard any comments or anything from 3%ers and Proud Boys. They seem to have been quiet lately. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of ICE, we are less than 2 weeks, of course, from Seattle Seahawks taking field in the Super Bowl, and now comes news that federal agents, including ICE, will be visibly present at the game. The Department of Homeland Security is trying to say that this is just standard security for a major event like the Super Bowl, which will be played at Levi Stadium against the Patriots. But officials are insisting anyone here legally and not breaking the law has nothing to fear. But, of course, the timing is raising eyebrows because of all the scrutiny on ICE after 2 U.S. citizens were shot and killed by federal agents in Minneapolis. And so DHS is not saying how many ICE agents will be at the game or what their focus is going to be, but immigrant advocacy groups in the Bay Area are already preparing for increased enforcement around Super Bowl events.
Do they need to be there? Does ICE need to be at the Super Bowl?
See, if this were any other time, I would believe that, hey, Homeland Security says when you have a big event like that, you want as many people who are doing the right thing to keep you safe. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of a supercharged time right now, and there's not a lot of trust in what is going on with these ICE operations. So, yeah, the fact that, I mean, I feel, and I don't know if you all feel this way, I feel like I'm having to be the queen of compartmentalization. I want to be really, really excited about the Seahawks heading to the Super Bowl, and I am.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all these things that are happening with ICE and immigration enforcement feels like this dark shadow hanging over everything. And so it's like you're having to kind of live, two separate things, split your brain. And given what we've seen, I feel like the two worlds could potentially collide in the Super Bowl. And I hate that we even have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. The focus should be we're all in this together and we want everyone to be safe.
And I think that when you make comments like that, Ursula, like we're all in this together, and yes, we want everyone to be safe, I think that collectively that's so much common sense. And so the reason why sometimes, and I promised my date, yesterday I got a little emotional. Today I'm not going to do that. But when I do get emotional, I get emotional because of the common sense thing that you just said there. The reason why so many don't want that approach, because they make less money when they do that. People with platforms that continue to push and preach hate, they make their living off of these things. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but a lot of us, we were talking about these ICE tactics are bad. We said someone is going to get killed. We said a lot of U.S. citizens are suffering because of this. And what ends up happening? Everything that you and I have said since the beginning on these unreal tactics from ICE, now Donald Trump, and they say, well, maybe it's time to de-escalate. And so my question would be, why can't we just start with common sense? Why can't we just start with human decency? Why can't we just treat all persons with due process? Because if we did that, then people like you and I, we could be talking about something else. And I get triggered and frustrated because we should not be talking about this. Listen, if there's someone that's undocumented that does something wrong and they get nabbed and they get sent out of this country, okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, exactly.
No, good. If
yes, the guy who killed the state trooper on I-5, get him out of here. Yes. Yes.
But what we're talking about now, this is stuff we shouldn't be talking about, but we are because people benefit from this. And it is a huge distraction from, I know you guys get tired of it, but we should never get tired of bringing up the Epstein files. We should never get tired of bringing up the Epstein files because we're seeing in real time that pedophilia is okay and people can get away with it. So let's distract you with something else.
Yeah, a lot to chew on. Okay, coming up at 9:30, we wanted to talk about the 32-hour work week because it's working in San Juan County. And now they're trying to look at that as a possibility for the entire state. How do you feel about that? Text us on the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Ursula, do you know what famous philosopher said? Can't we all just get along? do. All right. More to Gee and Ursula Show next.
Going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys. Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is one is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it. The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO Newsradio.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Maslauger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967. Or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. There are growing calls for the resignation of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem after 2 fatal shootings and chaotic protests in Minneapolis. CBS News White House correspondent Natalie Brand has more.
There's an impeachment resolution that is being pushed by House Democrats. It now has more than 160 people, House Democrats, who have signed on. Keep in mind, they do not control the House, so this is not expected to really move forward. However, it is symbolic.
The Senate is expected to vote on Department of Homeland Security funding next week, or later this week. If several Democrats don't sign on, there could be a partial government shutdown. Democrats have said they will not vote for ICE funding without changes. Hundreds of people rallied outside the Tacoma Municipal Building yesterday afternoon. They gathered to protest the Northwest ICE Processing Center and called for the agency to leave Tacoma. Politicians, though, in Washington are clashing over how our state should respond to federal immigration enforcement. State GOP Chair Jim Walsh is taking aim at Governor Bob Ferguson, saying his anti-ICE rhetoric is encouraging violence among protesters.
When you interfere with these agents doing their jobs, you're provoking violent response. You should not do that.
Ferguson says ICE is totally out of control and did not rule out calling in the National Guard. Mary Bridge Children's Hospital in Tacoma plans to close its gender clinic this week. Hospital leaders told employees in a memo that new federal pressure could cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments if the clinic keeps serving trans youth. They say losing payments would threaten the entire multi-care system, which runs Mary Bridge. A tentative agreement has been reached with union nurses at Seattle Children's Hospital. Last month, nurses voted to authorize a strike.
Chose not to use it because we got a lot of power at the table as a result of having that authorization to strike.
Nurse Lindsay Kirsch, who is also an officer of the union, says they are recommending their members vote yes. Now let's get a check of your KIRO News Radio traffic, and we are seeing things clear up. That crash on 167 that was blocking things and causing a delay leading up to the merge with 405, that's gone. We do still have some slowing through the Renton S-curves, but not more than a few minutes. Let's see. Renton to Bellevue on 405 northbound, 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue is about 21 minutes. Linwood to Seattle on I-5 southbound. We do have some slowing from Shoreline into downtown, but that's only a 24-minute drive right now. Federal Way to Seattle, 30-minute drive. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio. And we are going to have intermittent showers today, high of 51, overnight lows in the mid-40s. About the same tomorrow, except a little bit more rainy with highs of about 52. 46 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. So how do you feel about making a 32-hour week an actual thing statewide? We've told you that San Juan County has already moved away from the standard 40-hour week for its employees. And now lawmakers in Olympia are considering a bill that would extend to all of Washington.
Democratic Representative Sean Scott sponsored legislation to move Washington to the shorter work week, and here's why.
Americans work
annually 125 more hours yearly than workers in Canada, 204 hours more annually than workers in Japan, 279 more annually than workers in the UK, and 470 hours more annually than people in Germany.
San Juan County moved to the shorter work week in 2023. Scott says it can serve as a model for the rest of the state.
Officials have reported an 18% decrease in sick calls, a 216% increase in people applying for job openings, and an 83% rate of workers who saw improved work-life balance as a result of an 8-hour reduction in the work week.
Ashley Fuston is with the Washington Association of State Employees.
Not only did it save the county $2 million without lowering any pay for the workers, but it resulted in significant employee morale boosts and a 28% reduction in employees leaving.
Most people we spoke with say they would be interested in a shorter work week and more free time with family and friends. But there are also skeptics, like Republican Representative Joel McIntyre.
I'm just wondering why this one-size-fits-all policy, why do we think this would work for the whole state when we have such a variety of different industries and working personalities?
And then there's the money. With a shorter work week, employers would have to pay overtime above 32 hours rather than 40, and sick and vacation time would be calculated based on the shorter week. All that sounds good, but there is concern workers could take home smaller paychecks. Republican Representative Alex Ibarra.
If you're an hourly employee and you're only working 32 hours, you'll make a lot less money because you're getting paid, let's say, $20 an hour for 40 hours. If this passes, you're going to be working 32 hours for $20 an hour.
Andrea Ray with the Washington Hospitality Association is among a group of business and industry leaders who thinks the shorter week is a bad idea.
We must respectfully oppose the proposal to reduce the standard work week and appreciate employers being able to set their own standards and culture. I know I personally find joy in my long hours and work.
Representative Scott says change is never easy.
The 40-hour week, which we kind of accept more or less as kind of standard, was just as contested when it was implemented 50 or 60 years ago. And so we might be looking back on this time as a time where we took a bold step forward for a happier workforce and a more productive workforce with a 32-hour week.
If the proposal comes up for a vote and passes, it would go into effect January 2028. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
What you got, Ursula?
Okay, well, I want to hear what you got because you're about ready to fall out of your chair. So let's have you start because I'm going to tell you that as much as I love the idea and my favorite weeks are the ones where I can just work 32 hours and you have a longer weekend, I'm not mandating it. And I'll explain why, but I'm curious as to what you think.
You and I are on the same page on the whole mandate. First, I don't want anybody to think that I am the no fun police. I don't want anybody to think that I am just wanting everybody to not be able to have a life outside of work. But here's my serious opposing of this. The 32-hour work week conversation, and here's something nobody wants to say out loud. We're talking about working less at the same exact moment that we're competing against AI. Hold on now. Hold on. Y'all heard Ursula's news. You've heard about 30,000 eliminated at UPS. You've heard about the most recent with Amazon, 16,000. In November, it was 14,000. You heard about Expedia. So when they talk about the fight and where it was, and by the way, Sean Scott is right. 50, 60 years ago, when they wanted to make it a 5-day work week, they were against that. I totally understand. We're in a different time now. We are literally fighting against machines. So if we were to work shorter work weeks without investing in new skills and new training, we need to protect workers. By doing this 32-hour work week, we are not protecting workers. As the old saying, it's a trap.
Well, I mean, Pete, yeah, and you're saying it's a trap, and you and I are on the same page, but I'm just going to counter because some of the things that were brought up, well, in Europe and other countries, it is true. They have better worker protections in so many ways, and they also have very different systems. in Germany, for example, if you ever go there, Sundays, hard pressed to find any stores open because everybody has Sundays off. They just operate on a different way than what we are used to in this country. So going to a 32-hour work week just as a blanket policy would create new issues. For example, I mean, that doesn't work if you're in public safety or if you work at a hospital or you work in corrections or, there's certain industries that just wouldn't work with the way that society is built right now. I believe that a better way to do it would be to make it like an optional perk or maybe do a little smaller pilot thing, but not make it a mandatory blanket rule. Mm-hmm. Because, the woman who tried to argue that some people do love just working all the time, I would argue that's you.
It is me, and Ursula, I'm not.
And me, but my days of being a workaholic are over.
But I'm not putting my addiction to work on other people. I am seriously looking at the trap in this, and there is a real trap in this whole thing.
Well, explain that, because you think you're going to be the first one out when there are more layoffs. If you're like, hey, people realize. You and I have argued the same thing about city, county, and state employees who are still working and getting paid 40 hours a week and are working from home 2 days a week. And if some of those folks are honest, they're not really working on those 2 days or not working full time on those 2 days at home. I'm not saying all, I'm saying many. And when it comes to, we got to look for cuts. Mm-hmm. We've already seen it with Amazon, or Meta was the one that said, yeah, a bunch of them are work from home people.
Right. Well, the trap is not everybody's on salary. Let's talk about the people that are hourly. So if you're hourly, right? Unless the plan is to make everybody salary. But if the plan isn't to make everybody salary and it's hourly, you're basically saying to the folks that are hourly, you're going to make less. How about we just do this? Let's let employers make the decision on that.
Make it a perk.
And you as the employee can make the decision whether or not you want to work for that company or not. All I'm saying is I truly believe that if you go to a mandated 32-hour work week and you make that a blanket thing starting in 2028, I promise you, the people, the working class will hurt more from it than not. Right? So we say we care about people that are being able to, we talk about wages and everything like that. The hourly folks get hurt from this. Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, it's time for We Need to Talk. And it's time you actually pay, well, that's wrong. A grocery store receipt was found from 1997. Wait until you hear about this next. Gee and Ursula.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO Newsradio congratulates Rick Riz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report.
No big, just a loose gas cap.
And gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
This is the Gee Ursula Show. You know what? We were talking about the mandated 32-hour work week. Our text line has blown up. A lot of you guys are mad at me because I disagree with it. So I tell you what we'll do. I'll take those hits, and you guys keep texting. And Ursula, in 10 o'clock hour, you want to bring that back?
Sure.
Let's do that. Yeah. Okay. If I told you right now that I bought 122 items at the grocery store, how much do you think that I spent?
You bought 122 items.
122 items at the grocery store.
See, of course, it depends on what the items are. If you're talking about bobby pins, and okay, but
what
was the last time you bought bobby pins, Ursula? Those aren't that cheap. I'm telling you.
Your point being, though,
$400 to $500,
okay,
right?
Okay.
Well, what about if I bought the same exact 122 items in 1997? Now, in case you guys forgot, a person on TikTok dug up an old receipt to remind us about it all. Zoe Dipple found an old grocery receipt from Texas that showed 122 items. Check this out. For a total of $155. Real groceries. Little Debbie brownies for $1, yogurt for 50 cents, bread for $1.26, diapers under $13, strawberries for $2. So what they did is they took the same exact receipt and computed it for today, to fast forward to today. Those items came close to $500. So when people want to talk about inflation, what about the grocery prices? They didn't just rise, they've obviously tripled in some cases. So, Ursula, my point, we always talk about inflation, but one of the things that you and I just talked about this yesterday. We talked about, because we were talking about Super Bowl parties and the cost.
Seattle being the most expensive place to host a Super Bowl party.
The only time that every time I go to the grocery store, I'm shocked. I'm like, whoa.
Okay, I want to ask you, though, because I know you are in a very different financial position today than you were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But you are still noticing, ouch. What are the ones that stand out most to you when you're buying something?
Meat and produce. That's crazy. One of the things that really stands out,
keto dieting too.
But one of the things that also stands out to me are the vegetables. When you go to buy green onions and you go get the green onions and you're like, wait, huh? Why does that cost so much? You go to get corn on the cob. And you're meat and vegetables is where I see it. Now, with respect, not that I buy milk anymore, but when I was younger,
yes,
because kids, we bought milk all the time.
Yes.
I would say that milk kind of has still not that bad. Eggs are back down to normal prices. So the staples aren't really that bad right now, but it's the other thing. So when I see the meat, that's what stands out to me. And I think, I'll just tell you this. Every time I go to buy meat, I think about the old me.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Baby G yesterday, and he and I were talking about just that. And what I said to him was this. If the hard times that we went through back then were today, his life would be totally different. Sports today, if you want your kids in after-school activities, you're talking about the AAU basketball. You're talking about select soccer. You're talking about the 7-on-7 football. Those things, registrations used to be like $30, $40 to go to the Dale Ridge Community Center. Now you're paying, wait, you mean to tell me you have to pay $4,000 to $5,000 for your daughter to play volleyball?
Okay, and hold up, because what you just rolled out there,
yes,
for a lot of people, that's just not attainable.
And so what happens if it's not attainable? Where do these kids go?
That's the problem. And if these community centers, you said even it costs to go to a community or to do these community center programs. Yeah, I mean, that's a grim reality. So, how do you adjust? So what was, I'm thinking of you back then and then today. Have you changed any of your spending habits today when you go to the grocery store?
I still, because of what I went through, when I go to the store, I don't go crazy buying, right? Like I still get a weird feeling of like to go to the grocery store and see at the very end, it's say $250. Now, back then, $250, that means you just bought because you're having a huge party for $250.
Yeah.
Today, $250 is 3-4 days of fresh foods people of four.
$250 is very normal. Allison from Stillicum says, anything fresh is so expensive. I try to shop smart, but as soon as I buy at Costco to save some money, my kids say, oh no, we're tired of that now, or we don't like that anymore.
Oh.
Even Costco, that doesn't work for me anymore as it's just Mark and myself, right? So to buy in bulk.
Right. And then we wonder why people go and get the double cheeseburgers at McDonald's. I used to live off those, me and my kids, the 99-cent double cheeseburgers. They're not 99 cents anymore.
They're like $4 now.
Remember Jared and Safeway? Jared's not a good person to use. My bad. But the $5 footlongs?
I was literally going to say that. And also, I mean, here in Seattle, everyone talks about the Lower Queen Anne Taco Bell as being one of the most expensive Taco Bells. You could spend like $11 on a Crunch Wrap, at Taco Bell.
No.
Here in Seattle.
I still remember $5 teriyaki down the street. I'm always going to go back down to the teriyaki. 360 texted in, how do they get to the store? Gas prices affect everything, CCA. You're absolutely right. I mean, you're getting hammered on all fronts.
Lillian and I in Tacoma 2 weeks ago, we went to go have pho. Now, granted, I had a beef brisket pho. We left out of there, tip and everything, $84. For two of us. They have fun, some appetizers.
Emily on Camino Island just went to KFC, bought stuff for dinner tonight, $65. I'm making chicken and veggies.
It's real. All right, good stuff. Hey, coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show, is it time that you actually pay those car tabs? Why lawmakers in Olympia are talking about punishing drivers who aren't registering those tabs. Gee and Ursula.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Lionel Richie. And Earth, Wind, and Fire. The tour continues. Seattle, you're invited to sing a song all night long. Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Together in one magical night you don't want to miss. Climate Pledge Arena, August 3rd. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing
thing. Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The tensions between the White House and Minnesota officials haven't de-escalated yet, despite expressed willingness from the president. Correspondent Nancy Cortez reports from the White House. He weighed in after a man sprayed an unknown substance on Representative Ilhan Omar.
In an interview after the incident happened, he seemed to suggest that perhaps the Congresswoman had brought this on herself. He said, I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed, knowing her.
President Trump has officially unveiled his Trump account to create savings plans for America's children.
For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been testifying before Congress about Venezuela, but he also spoke of Iran.
That regime is probably weaker than it has ever been, and the core problem they face, unlike the protests you saw in the past on some other topics, is that they don't have a way to address the core complaints of the protesters, which is that their economy is in collapse.
Iran's real currency plunged to a new low for the second day in a row. President Trump is warning Iran that more U.S. ships are in the region. His latest threats focused on getting Iran to end its nuclear program. As CBS's Eleanor Watson reports.
President Trump said the flotilla is larger than the one sent to Venezuela, which is not exactly true since they're pretty comparable, with 12 ships in the Caribbean and about 9 or so in the Middle East. But the underlying message is clear. President Trump has proven he will not hesitate to use the military if he decides it's necessary.
Sarah Mullally has been confirmed as the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Archbishop Sarah, we welcome you. We welcome you.
She is a cancer nurse turned cleric. The Church of England ordained its first female priest in 1994. Mullally is the first to lead the church. Researchers in the UK have created an MRI scan that could spare heart patients risky catheters.
These are painless scans. Patient is just lying inside the magnet for around 10 to 15 minutes doing nothing.
Padgett Garg is a professor of cardiovascular medicine in Norwich and says the scan is a much safer way to measure blood oxygen. On Wall Street, stocks are mostly flat ahead of the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. It's likely the Fed will keep those rates unchanged due to destabilizing influences.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
One expert expects Amazon job losses to be in the thousands in Washington. We'll tell you all about that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are still looking pretty average for this time of day. I-5 northbound and southbound. We've got some slowing getting into downtown Seattle. But I-5 northbound slowing has reduced a lot. So about mid-Beacon Hill, you start to feel a little bit of a pinch, but really not that much. Maybe a couple minutes delay getting into downtown. And then, of course, Slow across the Ship Canal Bridge and southbound slowing. You are still pretty slow from, all the way almost back to Shoreline. It is reduced, I promise. Let's get those travel times. Linwood to Seattle, 24 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, we're doing a lot better on 405. That's 21 minutes in the northbound direction. And Bothell to Bellevue on 405 southbound, that is 21 minutes. And it's we're looking clear on both lake bridges. And it's a speed limit drive from Olympia through Tacoma all the way to South Seattle. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows and $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery, and confirmed this morning 16,000 corporate roles to be eliminated at Amazon. We're still waiting to see how many jobs in Washington are affected. GeekWire co-founder Todd Bishop expects the losses here to be in the thousands.
We've run stories and talked with people who have waited and searched for months and months, and in some cases years. And it's just a very difficult market right now. I mean, these have an impact, and they impact the tax base. They impact, businesses and spending capacity.
KIRO Newsradio has obtained a working draft of the income tax on high earners being developed in Olympia. It includes language that would explicitly override Initiative 2111, the voter-approved measure banning state and local income taxes that passed in 2024. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Amanda Factor.
Married couples would share a single $1 million deduction. So if each spouse makes more than $500,000, they would be taxed on that combined income above the $1 million limit. To unmarried people earning $600,000 would owe nothing. But a married couple earning that same $1.2 million total would owe tax on $200,000. For some high-earning households, marriage would mean a higher tax bill.
Seattle-based Rad Power Bikes is getting a new owner after a tough year. The electric bike company is selling to Life Electric Vehicle Holdings for $13.3 million. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, Rad Power once carried a valuation of more than $1 billion. But it filed for bankruptcy in December. Now a quick check of the weather. We are wet around the region and cloudy when you do get a break from the showers. We're going to have showers tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday with highs in the low to mid-50s, overnight lows in the mid-40s. It's 46 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to you. I got to tell you, Ursula, I love my job. Yeah, we get on the air and we talk this stuff, whatever, but during the breaks, I don't know if you notice I be gone.
I do. And just for the record, I'm at the desk trying to scramble for the next segment. And you are like schmoozing.
Yeah. Sophia knows where I'm at. Sophia knows where I go every single day.
Down to the lounge.
Down to the lounge. I go check in with Patrick and Trevor. And if you follow my Instagram, I do a daily question to Trevor. And it's hilarious. Like, people love this segment. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so people need to follow you on Instagram for one.
G. Scott Sr. on Instagram.
And then we're going to have to bring Trevor onto the show.
Yes, we do. But 10:30 is another thing I'm excited about.
Yes.
Mark Mullet is coming on.
Yes, Issaquah's mayor is making everything about the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl in his town. And, I mean, when I say Issaquah mayor, this is the guy that you and I both voted for governor.
Yes, we did.
So he's going to join us at 10:30.
You know who I was thinking about working out today? Because when Sophia said that Mark Mullet was coming on the show, I still want to talk to the chief of police for Issaquah.
Oh, yeah. But we can ask.
But she was out of town.
Yes, and we can ask Mayor Mullet about that, because you are not, even though you love the Seahawks, obviously, and we all love the Seahawks, you were not necessarily in favor of officers being able to wear Seahawks gear.
No.
So we'll talk to the mayor about that as well. As usual, we invite you to join us on our text line. Our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And I will say, the text line has been buzzing, and because of that, we are going to bring some of your text messages to the end of this segment. And this was regarding the 32-hour work week.
Oh, man.
But let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
Pay your tabs or else. That is the message behind a new bill being considered in Olympia that would crack down on drivers with expired vehicle registrations. KIRO 7 TV is reporting that this proposal would significantly increase penalties if you're caught driving with tabs expired by more than 2 months. How many of you are out there? And the minimum fines would jump to about $240. And it wouldn't stop there, though. The bill would also allow cities to ticket parked, unoccupied cars for expired registrations, meaning you wouldn't even have to be behind the wheel to get one of those tickets. And supporters say unpaid tabs cost the state millions of dollars in transportation funding. How many times has Sully come in here and talked about how we are so behind in maintenance and we need to spend all this money? But opponents are worrying that these fines could hit lower income drivers the hardest, especially with registration costs already so high. What do you think?
Nobody cares about people that can't hardly afford car tabs.
They just care about they voted for $30 car tabs.
Voted for $30 car tabs
and
they
didn't
get that.
happen.
And they also got to understand that this state is going to try their best to get its money, considering that there is no state income tax. So they're trying to make sure they receive the funds. Now, I just want to tell you something, and I'm going to be very honest about car tabs. There are certain things that you don't like to buy, right? And I got to tell you.
Car tabs.
Car tabs for me bother me so much. And it really bothers me here in this state because you go to look at your car tabs and you're just like, really?
Yeah.
And then you hear about all of these people. And by the way, I'm sure you're very honest because, there are people in this state that love, I use my mother-in-law's address. And some of you guys are using different addresses, which is illegal, which is fraud. I want to bring that up. But Ursula, I'm still mad about the $30 car tabs. We voted for that.
Okay, and remember when we talked about this the last time, and then you and I walked out to the parking lot, and you pointed out your car. You pointed out your car, and I'm looking at your tabs going, oh, okay, Gee, you were joking. Your tabs are current. And in fact, they weren't. Yeah. Have you paid up?
Sure.
Oh, Gee.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Kai texted in, state income tax has nothing to do with car tabs. Oh, boy.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about car tabs right now. So what are you thinking? Because right now, let's face it.
No, I don't want them to do that.
Yeah, no. Right now, law enforcement can pull you over. They can ticket you for expired tabs, but enforcement at the best is inconsistent, and the fines vary widely by city and circumstance. So what they're saying, this is a money grab. Let's get real. This is a money grab. Another money grab. Do it?
Okay,
I'm the wrong person to ask because I am the person who pays their car tab. We're on top of it. Thank you, Mark. We're on top of it. So I don't drive around with expired tabs because I don't want to get pulled over.
Can I? I'm going to make a sweeping statement, and you guys are going to be mad at me. People with nicer cars out here are the least likely to get the car tabs.
Oh, really?
I think people who, I can't afford to get a ticket. I can't afford, if I get one ticket, an extra $150 cost to me would really set me back.
See, I disagree. I think that there are folks, the ones who can afford it, not that, they just have their assistant handle it. Pay the tabs.
They'll get around to it. Well,
Yeah.
not people. I'm not talking about the ones that have assistants.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about the ones that make good money, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, car tabs. Oh, yeah. I just don't think anybody except for Ursula's of the world, most people just don't
Okay, text in.
Get their car tabs
No,
up. You
Muckleshoot
don't like
Casino
it.
and Resort text line. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I understand to drive on the roads and not have ruts in the road and have to get a new alignment all the time that I have to actually pay.
For things that you don't like to buy, where would car tabs rank for you? It's number one for me.
Number one?
It's number one. I can't stand it. I don't know why. I just can't stand it. And I'm not exaggerating.
Is it about the $30 car tabs or it's just in general?
Yes, that $30 car tab still makes me mad.
So I think people felt you on that one. I think a lot of people feel that way. Law enforcement friends, are you in favor of making it basically straightforward so you don't have to worry about should we do it, should we not? I mean, because we even heard from our law enforcement friends who were like, yeah, we generally don't give you, it's a warning. Although you can get pulled over if they have another reason to want to pull you over, and they can just say it's your expired tabs.
True. Allison from Stillicum says, yes, car tabs are up there with feminine hygiene products.
Oh, there. Okay. There was a time, Allison, when that was one of, yes.
What you mean absolutely. There was a time?
Hello? I'm 60. Okay, officially too much information. Okay. Ernie and Ket says, gee, I always pay my car tabs on time.
You're retired, Ernie. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Once again,
you have nothing else to do, Ernie.
Yeah, he does. He's doing plenty with his time. Anyway, so $242. I'm going to guess, because that would be where fines would start. I'm going to guess that there aren't too many folks who are in favor of this. I would say make it standard. Make it standard.
Yeah.
But again, we're looking at budget deficits right now. Make it standard. But I totally also get this is one of those where I can say I totally understand where people are frustrated because they did vote it in and they still didn't get it. And that part is absolute BS.
Well, we haven't had any law enforcement brothers and sisters text in. But here's a little bit of advice. I would say city police like Seattle, Tacoma, you might be all right. But when you start talking about small towns, the Fifes of the world, and all that, Burcrest, all that, you're going to get pulled over.
Robin Everett said he paid $400 for car tabs because he doesn't want to get pulled over. There you go. See, that's the reason we paid for our tabs. Right. Yes, they're up to date. Okay, we're going to get serious here because there are major new developments in the fatal shooting of a Minnesota ICU nurse by federal immigration agents, and the political tone around it is shifting very quickly if you've been paying attention.
Yeah.
Because in the last couple of days, President Trump has noticeably softened his language. He has backed away from some of the most explosive early claims made about the victim, specifically from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and Greg Bovino, who was in charge until just the last couple of days of the enforcement tactics in Minnesota and across the country.
Okay.
And why is this happening now? It's because there is a lot of pressure now. You heard even on Fox News coverage that there were some on Fox News that were questioning the tactics and what was said within hours of what happened in Minnesota.
Right.
Republicans are calling for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to step down over how this was handled.
Yeah.
One of the biggest changes, when you and I were texting on Saturday, Stephen Miller had put out this post where he was basically calling the nurse an assassin and a domestic terror. I mean, he was just using really
inflammatory words,
inflammatory language to describe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the guy who's the architect of the administration's hardline immigration strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now this week he is walking that back. He is saying that federal agents may not have followed proper protocol during that specific encounter. And also behind the scenes, the White House is now trying to cool things down. So again, Bovino was taken out. Tom Homan met with Minnesota's governor, Tim Walz, yesterday, and they talked about potential changes, but talking about scaling back the federal presence and reviewing some of the tactics.
Right.
So no one is calling this an apology, but the message is clear. It seems that the political ground is shifting.
Okay, all right.
A little.
I asked you in the 9 o'clock hour. I need to ask you again, and I need you to answer it again for me. Stephen Miller is going back. Donald Trump is saying some of the ICE tactics need to be de-escalated. Tell me again why you think, and now this is the same Stephen Miller that got out in front of this and said all of these inflammatory things. In your opinion, Ursula, why are they walking things back?
Because they're seeing that even the most ardent supporters in their base are looking at this and saying what you said and what we are seeing with our own eyes are not matching.
Okay.
And there is more and more pressure now. And I think, there's reporting from several sources that are saying that Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller are basically trying to blame each other. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of finger pointing going around. Right. You heard that Bovino and Kristi Noem both used almost the exact same press release to describe what had happened that did not match and again, thank God there were all these witnesses with video.
Okay. So I want to make sure I got this right, what you said. And I agree with you. So you're saying that Stephen Miller and those guys started to see what other people said, and people started to say, we don't believe that. We see with our own eyes.
Yes.
And so they walked it back.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
And now they're saying there's going to be, and remember, after Renee was shot and killed by ICE agents,
her parents.
And her parents talked, with President Trump also. But remember, after that, there was a lot of. No, I've just lost my train of thought. But in any case, it was still, hey, she did this, that, or the other thing. But then it started getting walked back. But this was even much more clear cut. Right. And when you have more and more Republicans saying, yeah, we're not buying it, and we need to. When J.D. Vance, the vice president, said they had absolute immunity, and folks are going, no, they don't. No, they don't. Mm-hmm. And so they're just facing a lot of pushback right now. And there's a lot of finger pointing. So that's what's going on behind the scenes. And so now the president, there's so many angles because the president also brought up some comments that right now have the NRA really hacked off because he Patel and Kristi Noem, Bovino, they were all saying the nurse who was shot and killed should not have come to a protest armed. Right. But Minnesota, he had a concealed carry permit. Mm-hmm. He had and it's an open carry state. Mm-hmm. And they're now fighting against their whole thing about Second Amendment and the right to carry.
Right. So what you just said, I agree with you. And to go along with what you said, here is the lesson that we should take away from what you said, Ursula. That lies only work if they are believed in this no big deal. Meaning, Stephen Miller came out in front of this and said awful things. Then after feeling pushback, real pushback, then they walk it back. When you talk about the Epstein files, nobody's talking about that anymore. But if the people, us, Republican, Democrat, black, white, all of us in this country actually say, oh, no,
yes,
you're not going to continue. Right. So what I'm saying is,
don't take the pressure off.
The lies of this administration only work when they are being believed in real time. And so the reason why they walked it back is because people were like, no, we're not playing that. Let that be the lesson on everything else that's going on. We told them, now they want to de-escalate the ICE, the way they go about that. So I hope the same pressure on that is still brought with the Epstein files. And the reason why I keep bringing up the Epstein files, because I've learned something and I've noticed something. When I do that, it's the biggest trump card, no pun intended. It's the biggest trump card because that's the one topic that they can't say anything about it. They know the Epstein files are a foul thing that's happening. Yes. And they just remain silent about it and try with distraction of everything else.
And we should all, whether it is all Democrats who are in those files or all Republicans, we should all want those files to be released for the victims. And no one should be in support of pedophilia. Okay, I was going to share, we're out of time. I was going to share something that was just so awful that a certain podcaster said on her podcast about the victim in this case, but we don't have time, so we will save that for another time. Okay. But coming up, we're going to lighten things up because we have Issaquah's mayor joining us, and he's changing the name of the city for just a couple of weeks heading into the Super Bowl.
And I wish he were governor. Mark Mullet joins us next. Gee and Ursula.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO Newsradio congratulates Rick Riz.
Everybody scores!
Season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
You know, it's frustrating. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn right around and waste it. Americans are getting fed up, and that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Charlie Harger here. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. You need to call the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. Call 206-210-1350, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate.
5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA! KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. In Congress, some Republicans are starting to raise concerns about ICE tactics in Minneapolis, where 2 American citizens died in confrontations with federal agents. Here's Senator Rand Paul, a Republican from Kentucky.
As they approach him, he retreats. As they approach him again, he retreats. When a woman is shoved to the ground, he goes to help her up, and that's when he is grabbed from behind. At no point in time do I see an assault.
Senator Paul echoes growing calls for an independent investigation. Meanwhile, some lawmakers are calling for Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's impeachment. And 2 Republicans are joining them, Senator Lisa Murkowski and Tom Tillis of North Carolina. There's also a move to hold up federal funding for ICE. If several Democrats vote no on a funding bill later this week, there could be a partial government shutdown. President Donald Trump has officially unveiled his Trump accounts to create savings plans for children. The president says the accounts will be funded with seed money of $1,000 administered by the Treasury Department, which will compound and grow during their lives.
For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream.
The president says these Trump accounts will create powerful nest eggs that could grow by thousands of dollars by the time the children reach the age of 18. Let's end on something we can all agree on. With 11 days to go before the Super Bowl, the Seahawks need every piece of good luck they can get. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey asked a Catholic priest.
We asked Father Brian DeLessie, a pastor in Renton, if it's a sin to ask God for a Seahawks win.
Well, I wouldn't call it a sin in the large scheme of sin.
In the end, he says it's up to the big man himself and the players, of course.
If they've trained well, they practice well, and they do the best they can, we'll see where the Holy Spirit goes.
All right, as long as it's in the end zone several times, that's fine.
We'll be hoping so, man.
And if you're wondering, yes, Father Brian is also rooting for the Hawks. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now it's a time to check our traffic, and we're doing pretty good. We are a speed limit drive from Olympia all the way through Tacoma, almost all the way into downtown Seattle. That's where we do hit some snags. We've got the northbound and southbound slowing into the downtown core. Southbound starts, we're doing better, I swear, but we still start from about Haller Lake through the Ship Canal Bridge and down. We're still seeing some slowing. And we do have a new collision on the northbound express lanes just north of Seneca Street. An incident is blocking the right lane, but it's very light. It's not causing that much of a backup, maybe a mile or less, and it's not locked up. We're clear on the lake bridges. 405 north and south, we're pretty much traffic free all the way through the region, except for that area of I-5. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio. And let's check your weather. We are going to be a combination of cloudy and rainy. That is pretty typical for this time of year. High of 51 today. Showers tomorrow with a high of 52 and about the same through the weekend. It is 47 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is 10:34, and we wish you a happy Wednesday today. Let it be known, Issaquah Mayor Mark Mullet has now proclaimed that from today through the Super Bowl, his city is going to have a different name in honor of our beloved Seahawks. And I'm happy to say that Mayor Mullet joins us now live on the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
You can also watch on our YouTube channel. Mayor, I see that you are decked out in your Seahawks gear. What is the name of the city now from here to the Super Bowl?
Issaquah.
What is it?
Officially been renamed 12 Issaquah. So make the number 12 followed by Issaquah. And this is our name until we beat the Patriots on February 8th. We're excited.
Mark, tell the truth, man. This is the most dad joke type sound in the world. I want to know the process in which you came up with this. Were you by yourself or was this a committee meeting? Tell us the process, man.
Hey, once I became mayor, I was convinced we were going to the Super Bowl. So the planning started right away. And I will say, nobody gets Lumen Field more fired up than G. Scott, so it's great. He inspires us.
Oh, there you go.
I was there last Sunday. He gets us all pumped up, and I'm actually back right now in Washington, D.C. at the Conference of Mayors. I made a wager this morning with the mayor of Somerville, which is like a suburb of Boston, very similar to Issaquah being a suburb of Seattle. And evidently Marshmallow Fluff was invented in this town of Somerville. So after we win the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a giant, huge case of Marshmallow Fluff, and that's what's going to happen.
Now, I love that level of confidence.
What was the bet? What was on the other end?
So he drinks some kind of bougie iced tea called Edo N iced tea, and Issaquah being the home of Costco, he buys it at Costco. So he wants basically 3 months supply of his favorite iced tea from his local Costco. So that's the wager.
3 months. He's going to be thirsty. Okay, well, talk about, now you are, and again, I want to say congratulations because we've not made it a secret. We voted for you for governor. And so when you didn't make governor, we were like, okay, well, I'm glad he's at least mayor of Issaquah. Now, talk about how your city is celebrating the success of the Seahawks.
So it starts with the proclamation, and then next week, we think it's going to be Thursday afternoon, most likely, but we're going to actually have a celebration right there in the steps of City Hall to kind of honor this proclamation and give a chance for our community to come out and express their love of the Seahawks. And these partisan times, it's really refreshing, I think, to have something where regardless of where you fall in the political spectrum, everyone can get behind supporting the Hawks in this attempt to get revenge for that unfortunate outcome the last time we played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
All right, now, when is this going to happen? 1, and 2, are you going to raise some type of flag?
So we have a banner. There's a 12 Issaquah banner right now, out right in front of City Hall. We are confident. There's a lot of confidence that the Hawks are going to win. And so the banner was put up on Monday. And so we will have, there will be a lot of banner waving and celebrating, and we look forward to it. And it should be Thursday afternoon. So I think February 5th, the Thursday before, I think is what we're kind of targeting. And I myself am going down to cheer the Hawks on in person. So I wanted to make sure I did it while I was still in Issaquah.
Okay, I want to point out that when I heard 12 Issaquah, I can't even say it, 12 Issaquah.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
I immediately thought of a popsicle, and I said, of course you named it that because you're an ice cream guy. Okay, but
yes, I shamelessly plug my Ben & Jerry's ice cream stores. I'm not ashamed of that.
Now, And by the way, you all are listening to Mayor Mark Mullet. He is the mayor of Issaquah here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Now, Mayor, I hope you know your police chief, right? You know her, right? I hope she's not mad at me because I was against the Issaquah police force being able to wear Seahawks shirts or hats or anything like that. And we tried to get her on the show, but I guess she wasn't around. But I just want to make sure you let the mayor know that I hope she's not mad. We still want to get on the show. And what was your thoughts on law enforcement wearing Seahawk hats?
I've met with our police officers. I was okay with it. I mean, it was we're going all in on the Hawks. I mean, I'm born and raised in Tukwila, so I've lived here a long time. I know these Super Bowl events are a little bit like the Haley's Comet. They don't come across frequently. You gotta celebrate them while they're here.
Well, did you get any kind of pushback? Because on our text line, I would say it was pretty split.
I pushed back.
G pushed back. A few of our listeners pushed back, but a lot of people were like, hey, we don't know when the next time this is going to happen, so why not? They would be okay with it. But some people actually did bring up the fact that, law enforcement should be wearing what is clearly law enforcement gear.
Yeah. And I think the police in Issaquah are the best trained professionals. They do an amazing job. And I think what they're wearing isn't changing their ability to do their jobs any way, shape, or form. And you're right. It's a mixed feedback, but I think in elected office, you got to be comfortable with that and do what you're comfortable with. And yeah, not everyone's always going to be happy, but I'm so glad we did it.
Yo, Mayor Mark, listen, man.
I like the sound of that. Mayor Mark, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I know
got better alliteration. The Senate thing never worked right.
You come on our show, and every time we talk to you, and I'm not just saying this, I love your energy. You always, no matter what the topic is, now we're talking Seahawks, so that's good stuff to talk about, but you always have like a good energy, even talking about tough topics. My question to you, now I'm being serious for a second.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself in this space?
Well, my focus right now, I think, in Issaquah is we want, obviously, at the federal level, things are challenging. At the state level, things are challenging. Even 20 minutes down the road in Seattle, things are challenging. So we just want to be an oasis of tranquility and normalcy out here. And I think we have a community that supports that vision. And we're doing everything we can just to make government do what it's supposed to do. And I don't know, I'm excited about the new role. And it's been a great first month. And I don't know, it's an amazing community. And we're going to focus on the simple stuff, just making sure the streets are paved correctly and everything works.
Issaquah Mayor Mark Mullet, we sure appreciate you said you grew up in Tukwila. I just want to have you give us one prediction for the Super Bowl and then just briefly tell us why this is so important for you as someone who grew up here.
I mean, I remember the Kurt Warner days, and I think I've just been a lifelong Seahawk fan. I think the score is going to be, I'm going 31-10 is my prediction. I don't think it's going to be that close this time around. I think our defense will probably play even better than they did what we saw last Sunday, and I'm really excited. And yeah, it's when I saw G at a cancer nonprofit event last fall, and the thing I bid on and won was I got a round of golf with Jim Zorn, and you know what? It fulfilled like a childhood dream of mine to play a round of golf with the guy I idolized growing up as a kid as our quarterback. And I gotta say, Jim Zorn at 71, he is sharp physically and mentally, and yeah, he was a real inspiration. And so I'm 53, but I'm hoping I'm doing as good as Jim is 18 years from now.
Mayor, I got a yes or no question before you go.
What do you got?
You can only answer yes or no, though. Here we go. A state mandated 32-hour work week. Yes or no?
No. You got to give me harder questions than that.
Hey, we on the same page. That's why you should have been governor. Hey, thanks, Mayor Mark.
My wife would argue that this worked out better. I think my wife feels like everything worked out the way it should have.
All right. Hey, have safe travels, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Go Hawks.
Coming up next, scenarios. Gee Ursula.
Holy smokes! For 40 years, he's been part of the soundtrack of summer across the Pacific Northwest.
The Griffeys with back-to-back home runs!
KIRO News Radio congratulates Rick Rids.
Everybody scores!
season 41 may be his last, but it promises to be one to remember.
The modern-day Bambino, Cal Raleigh.
We can't wait. From KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Rovers leaking in, rocks are moving and movers creeping in, water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula was just talking to me about vegetables just now and the things that we have to cover. One of the things we're going to cover in the next hour, the 32-hour work week is coming back because some of you guys are mad at me and like a lot of you guys are mad at me. A lot of people disagreeing with me. You do believe that there should be a state mandated 32-hour work week. So, okay, we'll talk about that more.
You heard Issaquah Mayor Mark Mullet.
He said, absolutely not.
Yeah, he didn't even skip a beat.
Sure didn't. All right, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
So check this out. I plan the dates. I start the conversations. I check in emotionally. And for a while, I told myself that, that's just how things are supposed to balance. Somebody always carries more weight. So I actually stopped carrying it. I just stopped because I was just tired of being the only one that's doing it. Nothing happened as far as me, but I don't ever get a, hey, are you okay? Or I miss you. Just no effort at all. They say that they're just not good at this stuff, but here's where I want you all to help me judge. If someone can show effort at work, with friends, with people that they don't want to lose, but not me, am I asking too much? Or am I just finally seeing the truth? 888-973-5476. Here's the thing, is the Muckleshoot Casino text line. I know that, Ursula, you and I, we're going to disagree on this topic.
I think so. Because I was already shaking my head and doing the cut it off signal, which is this person said that he shows effort, or he or she, I don't know who's what, but he or she, the partner shows effort at work with friends, but not with her.
Right.
So that tells me that he is capable of showing emotion, support, effort, and he's not showing it to you. And even after you say, I'm feeling a certain way, I'm carrying the weight, and his answer is, well, I'm just not good at that, that's your cue. You are not a priority. Others are a priority. You are not a priority. And you have to ask yourself, is that how you want to be? Do you want to continue like that? If after you tell your partner, this is what I need from you, this is what I need from the relationship, I feel like I'm carrying too much of the weight, and I would like it to, every once in a while feel like you're making an effort. If you're met with resistance to that suggestion, that's your answer. Bye.
I knew he was going to disagree. I knew we were. Okay.
It's not okay.
I truly believe, Ursula, that we all show love in different types of ways. And hear me out for a second. I believe that even my wife, I'm quite sure that she could easily say, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I need you to show me you love me here. But I think that she knows that there are ways that I show my love in certain ways. And so what I'm saying is sometimes you might be in a good situation, but that person might not show you love in the way your Lifetime movie shows you love, right, or the way the preacher in the church tells you you need to be loved, or the way your single mom tells you the ways you need to be loved. Sometimes people love differently.
I understand that. Men from Mars, women from Venus? Or the other way around, whatever that is. I understand that. But again, this person is saying, I'm not getting what I need. This person is not saying, hey, he shows me love in this way. some people are words of affirmation. Some people are, I'm going to cook
Acts
you
of
great
service
meals. Acts
and
of service.
buying
you have all
gifts.
these different, exactly. You have this, but if you're not getting what you need out of a relationship, here's my advice. Life is short. And if you communicate what it is you need and your partner is not willing to at least come halfway, bye.
Okay. Careful. They're not loving you the way that you want. And then you go out there and you might not, the next person loves you the way that you want and they love other people the same way. What do you got, Sophia?
No, I mean, I think the love language thing is a huge thing for me. I think you either have to be a person to accept that if you have a different love language than someone, if they express it differently than you and you know that and you're okay with that, that's one thing. But if you're not okay with that, that's a completely different conversation.
Thank you.
Because you have to be able to willing to adapt. I know there's ways that I express love that other people in my life might not express love, and you're like, okay, I have to remember, like, that person prefers it when I tell them that they're doing a great job, or this person prefers it if I buy them a present. And you just kind of have to keep track of that. You're not going to be 100% perfect, but in relationships, it's give and take, you know?
Exactly.
All right, what do you got there, Nick?
Well, there are some people who want more attention than others, and others like the extra space. But in this case, it seems that's not true about keeping distance when the mingling is going on with the coworkers and the friends in the side of life, but not the partner. So if I'm on the other side where I'm feeling a little neglected, I wouldn't give it too much time before finding someone else, because all they're asking for is just a sign to show that they care or mean something to you, or maybe plan something out. So any message will do, I feel like, in this case. I don't blame the other side if they don't like the fact that they don't plan anything or try and create any sort of message saying that they love them or care about them. So by all means, go out and find your other person.
It's especially hurtful if you see that they are capable of it and others are getting better treatment than you. They're just taking advantage of you. They're taking you for granted.
Now, when you say better treatment,
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
They just
able
said
to do it at work, able to do it.
Yes.
Show appreciation. That's like the least you should get from a relationship.
Yeah.
Show appreciation, support, respect.
Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, 32-hour work week. You guys are ready for this topic. We're going to set the story up again. If you missed it, don't worry. There is a proposal to talk about a statewide mandate on 32-hour work weeks. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? Well, we'll have that conversation next. Gee Ursula.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-990-3434. That's 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TilaMortgage.com.
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, you know, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The FBI executes a search warrant at the Fulton County Elections Office near Atlanta. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
According to an FBI spokesperson, the search is being conducted at the county's main elections facility in Union City. Officials declined to provide further details, citing an ongoing investigation. The search comes amid renewed federal scrutiny of Fulton County's handling of the 2020 election, a longtime focus of President Trump, who continues to make claims the election was stolen.
The man who rushed Minnesota Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and sprayed her with an unknown liquid during a town hall last night has been booked into the Hennepin County Jail on suspicion of third-degree assault. CBS's Ian Lee says before the man attacked the Congresswoman had been calling for ICE to be abolished and for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to resign.
Representative Omar posted on X that I'm okay, I'm a survivor, so this small agitator isn't going to intimidate me from doing my work. I don't let bullies win. Grateful to my incredible constituents who rallied behind me. Minnesota strong. She spoke for 30 minutes after that attack.
Some 382,000 customers from Texas to Kentucky are still without power after the latest winter blast. CBS's Katie Weiss is at the Ole Miss campus in Mississippi.
Even though there was some sunshine yesterday, the ice is still very thick. Now, this morning, we counted dozens of students and members of the Oxford community that were still sleeping in the student union to stay warm because they're still without power.
President Trump officially unveils his Trump accounts to create savings plans for America's children.
President Trump says these Trump accounts will be funded with seed money administered by the Department of the Treasury.
We'll fund those personal accounts with a seed contribution of $1,000, which will compound and grow over the course of their lives.
Parents, employers, and others can contribute money to these accounts, creating a nest egg.
We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg.
And, says the president, it will give these children an early chance at realizing the American dream. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The annual State of Tobacco Control report says that cuts to tobacco prevention efforts nationwide could lead to more deaths. Thomas Carr with the American Lung Association.
In 2025, the federal tobacco control landscape fundamentally changed, with CDC's Office on Smoking and Health being virtually eliminated and FDA's Center for Tobacco Products experiencing significant staffing cuts.
And just in, the Federal Reserve has decided to keep the short-term interest rate unchanged after 3 cuts last year. Stocks right now are mixed on Wall Street. The Dow is down 25 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heads up, if you're driving around with expired tabs, you may not be able to do that without a fine anymore. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic, and we are looking very good, which is pretty normal for this time of morning. Pretty much a speed limit drive from Tacoma all the way into downtown Seattle. You do have some slowing north and south on I-5 through the Ship Canal Bridge, and the southbound slowing does start around Northgate, and I'm looking at a new crash right now. Looks like I-5 southbound right around Northgate Way. We have something there blocking. It's not causing too many problems because we're pretty light right now. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes. Linwood to Seattle on I-5 southbound, 24 minutes. Renton to Bellevue on 405, 21 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue, 21 minutes. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoffs gear and custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online and enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. KIRO News Radio has gotten a look at what appears to be a working draft of the income tax on high earners being developed in Olympia, offering the first look at legislation that has been crafted largely out of public view. Here's KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger.
The bill would essentially overturn Initiative 2111, the income tax ban voters approved in 2024. Remember, Washington voters have rejected income taxes 11 times since 1932. But Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson has called that ban a pie-crust promise, easily made, easily broken. The draft also shows a 9.9% tax on income above $1 million starting in 2029.
You can read more on mynorthwest.com. Lawmakers want to crack down on expired car tabs.
We think that there are millions of dollars out there that are not being collected, which is not fair to everyone else that pays these car tabs.
KIRO 7 TV reports a bill being considered would increase fines up to $242 if you're stopped with a registration that's been expired more than 2 months.
I think it really sucks.
Amazon employees reacting as the company confirms it will cut 16,000 positions. GeekWire co-founder Todd Bishop says the local impact will be big.
There will be a disproportionate impact in the Seattle region. If you look back at the company's layoffs back in October, out of the 14,000, then about 2,300 ended up being in Washington State. Now, we won't know how many of this latest round will be here in the Seattle region and Washington State until later today, probably, or maybe tomorrow, when the notice comes out from the Employment Security Department.
A traffic alert on I-5 northbound in Federal Way this morning started when the State Patrol tried to contact a driver asleep at a rest stop for outstanding warrants. Troopers called for backup and laid down spike strips. The driver tried to get away, but soon crashed into another car. Nobody was injured. That driver was arrested. Now let's check your weather, and we are going to be cloudy with periods of rain today, as you've already experienced, probably driving into work today. We are going to have rain showers tomorrow. Highs today, 51, tomorrow 52, and about the same, rainy in mid-50s through the weekend. It's 47 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ursula, it's 11 o'clock hour. I cannot believe how fast this show is going.
The one thing that I've noticed about today, and it's not just because it's middle of the week, I think that there are so many things that we talked about on this show each hour that I can't even keep track of how many people are weighing in on each of these topics.
But I never knew, like, we never can guess which topic would really hit home. This 32-hour work week.
Yes, that and car taps.
Yeah, the car taps.
Yes,
yeah.
Those were huge for all of you. So we are going to get to it. Text us. Our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. If we don't respond to you, we realize too, Gee, I mean, this is the thing. Our text line is so full, but we also understand that all of you who are texting us, there are so many other people who are listening right now who aren't texting us, but hopefully your sentiments are shared by some of those who are giving us their feedback because, it's all over the map. So let's get to it.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
And yes, in our first hour, we did talk about a proposal being debated right now in Olympia that would shift Washington from the traditional 40-hour work week to a 32-hour work week without cutting pay. Now, this is being done successfully in San Juan County. And judging by your texts and emails, this isn't just an interesting idea. It is very personal for a lot of you. And so we're going to bring it back now with your feedback. Right. So I know you have News Boss open.
I do have it open.
Yes.
But I just want to, because this is important. This is very important. I want all of you to know, if they were to mandate a 32-hour work week, me, personally, I would benefit so much from this.
Yes.
Like, I would, oh, really? So even though I'm against it, I would make more money. All right.
Yes.
Let's go. You want me to read the text?
Yes.
253. Current trucker here. In the trucking industry, we are paid either by miles or local drivers are paid hourly. Many companies push their local drivers to 50 to 60 hours in our 40-hour environment. If overtime kicks in after 32 hours, I believe the price to move freight will be passed off to the consumer.
And then there is Paul from Linwood who says, well, what about health? Working 40 hours a week has affected people's health by having less sleep, you were right, and days to visit a doctor for a checkup. If people work Monday through Friday, they have to use a sick day to see a doctor.
Fair.
And we can see the benefits. I mean, there are definitely benefits.
You want to know what's one of the most silent things that really affects your health? Stress.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know when stress comes on? Lack of money will come from stress.
And so, lack of sleep?
And so far, as we continue with this, nobody's been able to answer what about the hourly folks. Help me with that. Allison from Stillicum says, I think a 32-hour work week would be amazing for the families that have two working parents to get by. I do believe that being a parent is the most important job you can have because if we are doing it right, our kids can change the world for the better.
Agreed.
The more time parents have at home with their kids, the better the chances are the kids will feel supported to move mountains. Being a parent in this economy is so discouraging sometimes. Yes, there is a poverty issue when it comes to lack of time with kids. Ursula?
Connie in Seattle just texted in and said, as a teacher, would I get a 4-day work week?
Teachers, hey teachers, you remember how much people were demonizing you, talking about your summers and everything. Remember that thing during the pandemic? The folks were demonizing you? I too remember. Thank you, teachers, for what you do.
Jeremy in Falls City says hourly folks overtime would kick in early.
So if, now I'm going to ask you, former manager, you know what I mean? You mean to tell me if overtime kicks in at 32 hours and beyond?
I'll tell you what will happen. I know exactly where you're going. I'll tell you what will happen.
Tell me.
People will be scheduled for 30 hours a week.
Will they get more or less hours?
They'll get fewer hours.
Ask Sophia what happened when the minimum wage went up. Sophia?
Yeah, I mean, even in Seattle, minimum wage went up. For a lot of companies that were paying employees minimum wage, the first thing they did, cut hours, blamed it on revenue costs. But that's exactly kind of what happens in turn, you know?
And then Jeff and Bonnie Lake says, I agree with the lowered hours on the work week, but doing it as a state, terrible idea. It has to be national or it'll be a major competition problem for the state. We didn't even think about that one. The other thing is, again, there are just certain jobs that you can't do it as 4 days a week. I think it still should be a perk or an incentive for those industries where it does work.
Right. Is there any other ones?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As an on-call tow truck driver, okay, our phone is, text line's blowing it up again. So as an on-call tow truck driver working 50 to 60 hours a week, this would destroy my boss and his company and then me.
Now, full stop right there. Now, remember, I am not suggesting that companies don't do this. All I'm saying is I think that every business and company in this state is different.
Yes.
To put a blanket policy on every business in the state is unfair. So for the people that are saying, gee, but what about you having a day off of 4 days a week? What about the businesses that go out of business? And what about people who lose work hours because of this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would be a huge impact on people. And again, I would benefit from this because I'm salary.
Me too. I mean, and quite frankly, I love it when I just have a four-day work week.
And the people yearly, they'll benefit from it. But who's going to be paying for it ultimately? The ones who are getting hourly, that are getting their hours cut. And in the end, they're losing money. That money's going towards the people who are taking that extra day off.
Bingo.
And thank you for that. Like, that's the part right there that nobody, like, do you guys think employers are going to be like, oh, this is great. Hey, let's bring in more hourly employees. We're going to give you more hours. You know that there's going to be a consequence to this.
No. And Carrie and Cedar Woolley texted in and says, why don't they just leave it up to the businesses whether they want to do 40 or 32?
Yes.
Instead of making it a statewide mandate.
Now you got
But then again, I mean, okay, yeah. So then there's Mary in the 360 who says, as a 47-year resident of San Juan County, I feel qualified in giving my opinion. Because again, one of the supporters went to Olympia and said, it's working great in San Juan County.
Sure.
So Mary says, a 32-hour work week may work okay here, but I can't imagine it being sustainable anywhere else. I listened to the arguments for and how working people in Canada and Europe work less hours, but isn't that because in Europe anyway, longer vacation times are the norm? Yes. And I can tell you it's annoying when you wait until Friday to call the courthouse and it's not open. And I will add that with the upcoming layoffs and looming AI concerns, it would seem that people would want and need to work a 40-hour week. Love the show. Mary, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously it's going to be in consideration. And I just, when I argue against this,
yeah, I think you're feeling. Are you feeling like you're sounding like you're anti-worker because you're not that person?
I'm
who's
not that person. But what I'm saying is that I know when things like this happen, I know who hurts the most, and it won't be people making high salaries. It'll be people that don't make the high salaries. And so I'm saying that when I'm arguing against this, I am thinking about them. Now, unless I hear something that says, oh, we have some type of protection for those folks.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Let me hear that.
Yes.
But I don't hear that right now.
Yeah.
And I know that this would impact them. And another thing, I know that this would impact some businesses. Not every business can just be like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Well, Wes just texted in for the very first time to the Gee and Ursula Show and says, I currently work a 32-hour week work shift, and I find it highly beneficial in my family life. It gives me that extra day to bring my child to medical or dental appointments without missing work. It allows full-time employees to find a part-time job to bring in more money each month. With this highly expensive state that we live in, this is a huge benefit. For people that don't understand overtime hours on a 32-hour work week, they don't kick in until after 40 hours, he says. But
that's not in the proposal.
But he says, yeah, I really think that this would only work for certain organizations.
Oh.
And that I agree.
Are we comfortable, before we leave this topic, are we just comfortable with allowing businesses to decide? Or are we not comfortable with
They
that?
kind of already are, though. I mean, the 40-hour work week is so subjective. Think about how many industries it's just normalized that you're putting in 50, 60 hours. I was talking to someone who's an intern at a finance company, and she's an intern. First, she's like, well, it's expectation. I go in at 7 and I leave at 10 p.m. Not any extra hourly pay.
New attorneys, billable hours, yeah.
But I remember there used to be a time that people would say, you have to pay your dues. I remember that being said a lot. And my father told me this little quote: you do the things now that nobody wants to do so that you can do the things later that folks would love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some of you right now, you probably, there's maybe in your career, you're like, yeah, I go to work and I go 4 days and I work, 3-4 hours a day. I bet you're at that point in your life because there was a point before that you put in a lot of work and there's a payoff here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a time when I did 80 hours a week. Easy. On a good week. Okay, as long as we're talking about money, let's talk about money in King County because there's a new audit from the King County Auditor's Office, and it is raising big concerns about how park grant dollars are being tracked and monitored.
Yeah.
So these are grants that help pay for everything from Merrymore Park to local ball fields, the trails, community programs all across King County.
Okay.
And the problem, according to auditors, is that the money grew very quickly. This might sound familiar. The money on these grants grew very quickly, but the oversight did not keep pace. Como 4 News is covering this and pointing out since 2017, King County's Parks and Rec Grants program has expanded significantly. And for those of us who live in King County, you might remember that just last year we had to vote in, and the grant portfolio is now expected to top $100 million between 2026 and 2031. That's about $20 million a year, largely funded by levy dollars. But auditors say they found gaps in documentation, all the paperwork, and the financial controls that made it very difficult to verify whether every dollar was spent the way it was supposed to be spent. And they did a deep dive into 25 out of hundreds of grants. And they say, first of all, there's no evidence of fraud, but they also couldn't always confirm that the spending matched the program's goals. Okay, I want everyone to know that we invited King County Council Vice Chair Reagan Dunn, who is pushing for better accountability. We also told you guys a few weeks ago about another audit. Actually, it was maybe a few months now, where all this money in King County wasn't being tracked properly. So we're trying to get him on the show, but I just want to get your thoughts on this.
Par for the course. I mean, nobody listened to what you just said and reported and clutched their pearls. Nobody is surprised.
Except me?
Wait, you're surprised?
I'm disgusted. Again, this is why I'm taking my stance. I want you to finish your thought. When I say I'm disgusted, I'll tell you what it means for me.
Tell me.
As a King County voter, I'm saying no to any.
Okay.
I've said it.
Yeah.
Until they can show that there is better documentation and oversight of these dollars that they keep asking us as King County taxpayers to approve, I'm going to be a no. And that is not me usually. I'm going to be a no until I feel like, hey, these are the ways that we are going to have better oversight on these dollars.
Now, okay, and I'm going to say back to you, I don't know what it is about King County, and I don't know what it is about Seattle, but every time there's something up new to vote on a new tax, they say yes every dang on time.
Yeah, and I was part of that group because I want better for this community.
But you've been saying no,
yeah,
and the voters been saying yes still.
Yeah. So apparently, maybe
say it
again.
Oh, here you say it. Apparently, nobody cares.
Or not enough people are going to the ballot box. The ones who are voting yes. The ones who are, and I do it every time. I don't miss any vote. So my vote has changed. I want to see better.
Yeah, and the reason why I was shocked that you're shocked, because this is par for the course. Like when you hear about, oh, there wasn't enough oversight. Oh my goodness, grants improperly were going there. Oh, there was overpayment there. Like tomorrow, we celebrate 6 years on the show.
We do.
You've been talking about this ever since.
Well, I'm going to talk about it more because we are at a time when they're going to be hitting us up for more taxes. We are facing big fat deficits, and people keep saying, well, we're going to have to make cuts or we're going to have to raise your taxes. How about you do a better job of finding the fraud? And again, there's no proof that there is fraud.
They said there's no fraud.
No.
But.
Yeah. How about you just do better oversight? And if you can show us how you can explain those dollars and how they were used and how they benefited the programs that you said they were going to be used for, then I'll start saying yes again.
And you want to know what's wild to me? You want to know what's wild? You just gave us that story, and you just told us about, there wasn't enough. There's no names attached to that story.
That's why I want to get Reagan Dunn on.
There's no
because
names
he's the
like
one person
who was in charge, where, who was this. And usually when we get these stories, we don't get that. But let there be a grocery store and someone takes money out of a till that's less than $100, that name will be blasted all over the news.
Good point.
But when you have this type of stuff dating back to 2017, I'm not the best with math, but that's 9 years, and we don't give a name?
I'll give you a name, actually.
What kind of name you got?
Warren Jimenez is the current director of the King County Parks and Recreation Division, a position he has held since November of 2019. So, Mr. Jimenez, I would love to see more information about where that money went.
Yes. I would love for you to come on the show. All right, Ursula. Coming up next, it's time for Agree to Disagree.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10 and 7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Nick, did you know this is called quit time? Did you know what that is?
I do not know.
That means right about this time of the year, people quit their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, kind of like last year.
Okay, never mind. The important thing is that both of us made a New Year's resolution that we would take better care of ourselves for each other. And we're holding to that.
We are not flaming out because...
Longevity Medical Clinic. So we get the support of Longevity. We told them what our goals were, and they're like, absolutely, we'll get you in line. So they support me, they support you, and then as a couple, they're making us accountable for the decisions we make. So we're not going to be quitting on these things. I can't remember what your New Year's resolution was around the house.
My New Year's resolution around the house was that I was going to try to get you to start putting things away.
And I was going to get you to actually learn how to cook a piece of chicken.
Oh, well, that's for next year.
Okay, fine. Either way, we've got a team behind us. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about. But if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Do you like helping others? Become a Sheba volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Sheba at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show starts this Friday. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you, gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A partial government shutdown is looming as some Senate Democrats say they will not vote for a spending measure unless funding for the Department of Homeland Security is split off. Washington Senator Patty Murray.
And we need real reforms. And until that happens, until we begin reining in this out-of-control department, we cannot pass the DHS bill as it stands.
She also demands an independent investigation into the death of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis, who died in a confrontation with federal agents over the weekend. Some Republicans have also asked for an independent investigation, like Senator Rand Paul. Meanwhile, Border Czar Tim Homan has taken the lead on the Minneapolis immigration crackdown. Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino has been recalled from the operation. Here's CBS's Nancy Cordes.
The president is saying that things might be winding down in Minneapolis. He said he is looking to de-escalate, and he's now claiming that most of their work there is already done, that they were able to round up thousands of criminals in Minneapolis, even though that figure is pretty questionable.
President Donald Trump has unveiled what he's calling Trump accounts.
Over the next 15 years, we're going to put $3 to $4 trillion of wealth into the hands of young Americans who otherwise would have really started out with nothing.
They're investment accounts for children with seed funding from the Treasury Department. Say a prayer and sprinkle the holy water. The Seahawks are Super Bowl bound. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey asked a priest whether the Hawks will win or lose.
We asked Father Brian DeLessie, a pastor in Renton, if there's any mention of a Seahawk in the Bible.
On eagle's wings, I guess, would be the one piece, because that comes from one of the Psalms, but not directly connected to the Super Bowl that I can think of, as sad as that is.
He also says it's just fine to pray for the Hawks. It's not a sin, but ultimately it's up to the players.
In the end, I'm sorry to say, only God knows.
And if you're wondering, Father Brian is a 12. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now let's get a check on your traffic, and we're still sitting pretty good right now. We're a speed limit drive in the South Sound, almost anywhere you want to go. We do hit some snags on I-5 northbound through the Ship Canal Bridge in downtown Seattle. And I am seeing some slowing on the West Seattle Bridge merge to I-5. I don't see anything blocking there, just a little bit of slowing. The 405 S-curves, that slowing has died down as well. This report brought to you by Tacoma Home and Garden Show. The Tacoma Home and Garden Show presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th through February 1st at the Tacoma Dome. For info and discounted tickets, go to tacomahomeandgardenshow.com. Checking your weather, we are cloudy today with periods of rain. Showers early tomorrow, becoming steady rain later in the day. A high of 51 today and 52 tomorrow with overnight lows all this week in the mid-40s. It's 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Text us on our Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line. That is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Hey, it's time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
So we've talked a lot about whether or not we benefit from a shorter work week today, and something big that came out of that conversation is how it would impact working parents. But whether or not you think less hours are a good thing for the everyday person or a parent, how does working hard impact a child? Oftentimes we focus on the positives of having a parent at home, what it's like for them to rear the child, but what about that child's ambition? One columnist in The Cut made a great argument. She said she wants to be there for her kids and be present, but she also wants to be a positive role model. And being that you both were working parents growing up, I'm curious to know what you think. Does having a working parent actually positively impact personal ambition? Ursula?
It can, and I want to be careful in how I answer this because I have said it on the show, and I've said it, and I truly believe it in my heart. When a parent chooses to stay at home with their child, if they have that ability, I think that is the most important job that they can do, and they're fortunate. And there was a time when I would feel so jealous of parents who could stay home, and I wish that I could do the same. I didn't have that opportunity. And I've shared now that there was a time when I was working 70, 80-hour work weeks on a regular basis. And my oldest son, now, the only reason I could do that is because I had great help from my husband, who had a much more stable, at least, work shift. And he was able to be there when I couldn't. I also had my parents and my in-laws helping with childcare. So we didn't even have to take the kids to childcare. So we were blessed. And I say all that because other people don't have that opportunity. But I will tell you, yes, and gee, you're nodding very, yeah. But I will tell you that I am a workaholic. And I finally stopped it when I literally was pulled out of here in a stretcher. And I've shared that story because what I tell my kids now is like, no one is going to care that much if you work yourself to death or you work yourself to the point where you are no longer healthy. And unfortunately, I can see that with my oldest son, that he is going to outwork anybody. And my younger son has a much better idea of this whole idea of work-life balance. And maybe he's going to be okay this is the one in Australia right now. He's going to be okay working fewer hours and just making less. Whereas my older son looks at it as, oh my gosh, if I'm not, achieving this, achieving that, achieving this, it's going to be a sign of failure. Right. So yes, Do I think your kids learn from what you do? Yes. And no matter what I tell, I keep trying to say no job is worth your health.
Do you have more agree to disagree questions? Because if you do, I'm going to go be very fast.
I do. I have more, but do what you need.
I'm going to be very fast. None of my kids get $1 from me. They all are self-sufficient, and they all make their own money because they saw, I don't know, but we didn't have a choice. they didn't have a choice. You got to go get it or you don't. And for the parents out there, because there's a such thing as time poverty, right? There's a thing called time poverty, and there's a lot of parents out there that don't have a choice, and they don't have the help to be able to be home with their kids. And so the whole latchkey kids that a lot of us grew up on, you have a lot of kids who they don't know anything. Mom or dad is always at work, right? And then they're home by themselves. And now some kids, I know when we talk about kids that get in trouble, sometimes we're the first to say, well, where are the parents? Some parents are at work. And some kids get into mischief when parents are at work. So, look.
But do you think their work ethic, though? That's what we're talking about. I mean,
I know.
So your work ethic has passed on to your kids?
I answer mine simple. Mine is simple. All of my kids don't get $1 from me because they're self-sufficient and they make their own money. And I duly believe think that that's all they know. Go get it.
All right, well, to wrap up this conversation on the financial state of the world and working in general, I got to bring in Gen Z and how we're investing in our future, which is different than how we were told to do it. According to research done by Savings and Edge app, Marigold & Co., most Gen Zers are opting to do what is called soft saving. So that means, we're not putting a set amount of money aside every single month, and we're not sacrificing for the latte factor either. Growing up, one thing I always heard is the latte factor will get you. If you don't buy that $5 latte, you'll have a house in 10 years. And let me tell you, my generation has one thing in mind. Every $7 latte isn't getting me one step closer to a house. And so the research is revealing that 38% of Gen Z that are claiming that their financial circumstances shift so much each month that their goals change. So instead of being like, hey, I'm only going to take out this much from my paycheck every month, they're instead being like, let's see what we have left and maybe put a little aside, but not sacrificing the little things. So my question for you is, do we think this is the way to go now? Are traditional saving methods over, or should Gen Z try saving what they spend on that $7
Pull yourself
latte?
up by your bootstraps and quit buying avocado toast, lattes, and if you have one of those $1,000 cell phones, if you have a cell phone, stop buying those things, and then maybe you'll be able to piece together and you can save 20%. You can save $100,000 and go buy a house.
Okay, your real answer is? I could tell that your wind has been taken out of your sail. Do you get some peanuts?
My real answer is that Gen Z is harder for you guys to save because your income isn't what it was 30, 40 years ago. And I don't care what anybody says. The easiest way to save money is to make money. Like all of it, like that, it's period, point blank. Because when you make money, you can make some mistakes, and then you can stop making those mistakes, and then you can start to save.
Right. So do you agree that?
I want to actually turn the question around to you and Nick, because this really is more about you guys and what I'm hearing, and I think it's a much healthier approach, is this idea of, you know what, it may take me longer to get there, but I'm going to buy that thing that makes me happy right now, whether it's an avocado toast or what.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much c'est la vie, YOLO, if you want to go there. Like, I think we're at a point where we can't really see that far in advance. We're in less of these traditional methods of knowing if I stay at this company for 20 years, I'll be able to invest. It doesn't have that same turnaround, now. It's very different. And I think that whole concept of the latte factor may have had a significant impact on your saving 20 years ago, but it does not now. Like, I love my iced lattes. I'm going to keep getting them. And I don't think they're going to have a huge impact on my life.
Nick? Well, they're going to have an impact. They're going to make you happy right now.
Well, look at the trends that are going on right now. Jobs are going down. Prices for wages aren't going up. Prices for goods are going up. Yet we're being told as young people, you got to spend less, you got to save more. How does that equation line up exactly? I'm confused.
It doesn't.
So you reach a point as a young person where it's like, these things that they're telling us to do are seemingly unattainable. So I'm going to live the life that I have now while I'm alive, rather than trying to live the path that they lived 40 years ago when their dollar went way further versus what we had. They could buy a house for $50,000.
And before we move on, hey, Nick, Sophia, guess who sets policies for a lot of the things that we're talking about right now? People that are so outdated with their thinking and the way they thought of yesteryear, and they care nothing about the next generation coming up, as long as they make their money and the billionaires continue to make their money. Coming up next, your text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee Ursula.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10 and 7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're hoping to buy a new car here in the new year, it is a big deal. You know that. And that's why where you buy it matters just as much as what you're going to buy. And if you've been listening to the show, you know that I drive an Outback and our family also has a Forester. Both of them were purchased from Carter Subaru. And when we need another car, we're going to go back to Carter Subaru. Why? Because what keeps us loyal is how they treat their customers. There's no pressure. There's no games. It's just a dealership that treats their customers like family. And that kind of reputation spreads, and you can see it everywhere. Carter Subaru license plate frames are everywhere on the roads, and there is a big reason. Carter is Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Right now, they have more than 700 Subarus in stock, which is the largest selection in our state. For example, the 2026 Outback starts at 3.9% financing, and you can get the 2025 Crosstrek. That's available at just 1.9% for 72 months. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 1/31/26.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Roger. Roger, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
Over the last several years, my homeowner's insurance policies just kept on going up and up and up. For years, it was $1,100. Last year, it was $2,500, and this year $5,000. That's what got me to call First Mark Insurance.
Were they able to save you any money?
Absolutely. Within a couple of days, came up with a proposal that blew my socks off. It was an amazing amount of reduction in cost.
Did they improve your coverage while saving you all that money?
They did both. The coverage is better, and the cost is substantially less. It's half as much as I was paying last year. Recommend First Mark to anyone who is looking to get better coverage at less cost.
Well, Roger did it, my family did it, and you got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge and see how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Hey, let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Oh, great idea. But first, we should get a new TV. One of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, I'll start shopping on the internet and then head over to the warehouse. Warehouse Club.
Well, but if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only?
Yep. We can save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Or we'll be sorry.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well,
I'll take this one.
are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Gee and Ursula, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good time, because I am. Oh, what a great topic it was, talking about Gen Z and their ways of soft saving. And
a lot of people had advice for Sophia and Nick.
Gotta pick us up by our bootstraps. Stop buying that avocado toast.
Somebody also texted in and says, well, back in our day, we didn't buy $8 coffees.
Because coffees weren't $8 back then.
Nick!
You could buy 8 coffees for $8 back then.
You mean to tell me that back in our day, we weren't just buying the $1 coffees from McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Ursula?
Well, on that topic, Kevin in Black Diamond says, gee, you are spot on again about the people who are making decisions for today's generation. They have no idea because they are so out of touch.
Goodfella says, do not put down avocado on toast. For $1, the avocado gives you all the nutrition you need for 24 hours. Bread is actually free in the day-old bin. That's cheaper than the egg and bacon or fancy waffles or tall lattes.
On car tabs, tons of you texted in on that. Mark in the 425 says, we voted and passed $30 car tabs. I have not bought tabs since 2018. I will pay the fine.
Ooh, Robin Puyallup. You want to know who strictly enforces the expired tabs? The same towns that will ticket you for 4 miles an hour over the speed limit. Gotta avoid Pacific, Algona, and Fircrest.
For sure.
No lies told there.
808 says, heck no. They try to charge me a tax of $1,200 for a car that I've already owned for 12 years. I'll take the ticket.
Brian from Arlington says, I have 2 vehicles in this category, LOL. In my defense, one vehicle has unpaid good-to-go bills. They won't let me get new tabs till I pay that. I'm stuck in a catch-22, just like speeding or rolling through a stop sign. Sometimes you roll the dice on not paying your tabs, and sometimes you get burned. Don't complain if you get busted. What about 1997?
Okay, on 32-hour work weeks, Dennis in the 253 says, curious as how a 32-hour work week would work with law enforcement. Every agency has minimum staffing, will already have understaffed agencies, and they would have to hire more officers then?
Chrissy in Oregon really wants to tee us up with this one. If government cuts back to 32 hours a week, that means less work is being done. And people who need permits, licenses, and all of that will back up. This will be a bad decision. To which I would say one thing about local government now, county and city, they're working at full capacity, 100%. There is no backlog on anything.
Which is why we're trying to get Reagan Dunn on the show to talk about what is really happening when it comes to work from home on those 2 days. Okay. And again, not everybody. And if you're not part of that, don't be upset. Because we're not saying everybody. Okay, on 12 Issaquah and the Seahawks and the mayor of Issaquah joining our show, Mike in the 206 says, for the town of Issaquah, how about Issahawks or Issasquawks?
Robin Everett says, Gee, Ursula, and the rest of the family. I just want you all to know that I'm a New England Patriots fan, but I'm a bit scared the Hawks might win.
No, not might.
Hey, Rob. They're going to win, and it will make us feel halfway better about Super Bowl 49, but I'm never getting over that anyways. So, and even though this has nothing to do with anybody, because no coach or anything was a part of that team, but Robert Kraft was. And after this win, I'm going to go get... Yeah.
You're going to go get what?
A massage.
So, by the way...
Yeah.
Seahawks practices, have they started up yet?
They were off yesterday.
Yes.
They're back today and tomorrow. Okay. And they'll be getting ready to travel down to San Francisco probably Sunday. So, yeah, it goes down.
Nice.
All right, Ursula, it's time for your words to live by. What you got for us?
This is a quote from Nick Vujicic, who says, if you want to influence others, the most important thing that you can do is be a living example of those principles, ideals, and the faith that you advocate. Walk the walk.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's, back when we were our parents yesterday, it used to be, do as I say, not as I do. How did that work, Mildred? How did that work?
Mildred. Hey, tomorrow's a special day.
It's our anniversary.
We're going to have to do something.
Okay, tomorrow, you know what we need to do? We need to hear from the folks that didn't think we'd make it 6 years.
And then I would like to hear some from folks who started listening since day one. Maybe we even open a phone line or two.
I bet you there's only like 2.
I'd be surprised we heard from the doubters, like you said.
There's only like 2 people that's been hanging since day one.
Oh, no, we'll hear from the doubters.
Oh, okay.
All right, What do you got, Brother Nick?
Well, how many would really want their work hours cut down when the older 40 is a newer 32 in town? And after seeing friends of ours chime in on that text feed, we knew quickly that it's not a change desired for our speed.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
So put that thought back on the burner while it simmers down. But we like the new idea of 12 Issaquah from Mulletstown. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed he can get that supply of marshmallow fluff that he loves. So good luck, Mark.
Yes. Marshmallow fluff for everybody.
All right. So what we talking about tomorrow? A lot of anniversary stuff tomorrow.
Yes.
6 years.
Yes. And you can be assured that you're going to hear all the big stories that you need to know about that give you things to converse with your family and friends about. And, tomorrow is Would You Rather?
Oh, yeah. Would you rather? All right. Thanks, Ursula. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Sophia, even truck driver Bill loved you today. Said he loved you in a grandfatherly way.
I really appreciate the distinction.
Maybe that's why Bill Belichick didn't get into the Hall of Fame first ballot.
All right. You went there.
All right, Nick, thanks, bro.
You too, man.
Hey, you guys got to stick around. The Jake and Spike show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Grease monkey, ex-junkie, winner of the fight. Walking on the streets, it's really all the same. Selling souls, rock and roll, any other game. Working for a living.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio.